22nd is the UN International Day for Biological Diversity. So Tomoko has some really great experience in terms of sustainability and on topics related to biodiversity. So we're going to cover a few different things today. So thank you for joining us. And Tomoko, if you'd like to give a little intro, tell us a bit about your background, maybe, and how biodiversity relates to maybe some of what you're working on. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your introduction. Konnichiwa. My name is Tomoko Hoshino. I'm Japanese. As Chris introduced to me, I belong to an NGO called Environmental Partnership Council, which is an NPO that tries to produce more and more partnership among people in order to protect the environment or of course, biodiversity. So, and I am not an expert on biodiversity, but because I have some experiences working with those who are engaged in biodiversity conservation, I'm very pleased to be here today. My background is more to do with the promotion of citizens movements like NGO networking for SDGs or the education for sustainable development, or currently, of course, about the biodiversity. The relation with biodiversity with me is that I deal with the different all types of environmental issues and people who are engaged in environmental protection movements. And biodiversity or the nature conservation is one of the major issues that people are engaged in. So
Perfect.
Together with the climate change or the production or promotion of the circular economy or the waste management, biodiversity is very, very important issue, especially after the 2010 COP10 in Nagoya, Aichi Prefecture, where we had a framework convention on biodiversity convention in 2010, when a lot of people gathered and did a lot of movements and formed a network for biodiversity. And I was one of the people who worked on that, or the promotion of biodiversity thing. So since then, I'm very much into it. And besides that, I like food and agriculture. I will talk about that later. So I'm very much interested in biodiversity. That's
okay,
the first
perfect.
part. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, perfect. No, thank you for the intro. And in some of the conversations that you and I have kind of had leading up to a little bit of this, you kind of sent over and mentioned to me some pretty cool initiatives that are happening in Japan. So, for example, if you could speak a little bit more to the 5 actions for biodiversity initiative and some of the other kind of cool and interesting movements and steps being taken in Japan to enhance biodiversity and overall kind of sustainability. Yeah.
Okay. So as I said, since 2010, about 10 years ago, more movements about biodiversity have been kind of booming. But still, not many people know about the word biodiversity. People love nature, but how to deal with it or how to protect, not so many people know about it. Only those who are really into it, or NGOs, NPOs, or business people who are engaged in CSR or something like that.
Right.
So after 2010, a lot of movements in order to disseminate information about biodiversity had been kind of popular or been demanded. So like the 5 actions that Chris mentioned is one of the initiatives to spread the idea of protection of biodiversity by giving very simple ways to be close to the nature or close to know about biodiversity. It's called 5 actions for biodiversity, and 5 means let me show you. I can tell you about it. One is very simple. One is to eat eat locally produced or seasonal food, which you can feel about the nature, or you can cherish the gift from nature. And the other one is to feel. You can get more in touch with nature and animals by visiting botanical gardens or zoos. You can feel and touching, or you feel about it. And then the other one is to show. Try communicating nature's beauty or expressing your appreciation with photographs or pictures or writing. You can express about the nature or biodiversity and communicate with others. This is to show biodiversity. And the fourth one is to conserve. You can actually act national activities, protect the environment, or connect nature with people or culture. That's the fourth one. And the last one is to select things in a good way to protect the environment. Maybe you have heard of green consumers. Green consumers. That's quite similar to it. Choose products and services bearing eco marks, or something that is good for the environment, or something which do not harm the environment or the nature. Those products, services are being sourced, manufactured, and sold in ways that help conserve biodiversity, such as something like some wooden made thing, but the wood should not be illegally logging thing, or managed in a good manner for the environment, something like that. So these are the 5 actions that you can take. That's one initiative. And the other initiative is called the Nijumaru project. Nijumaru, that's in Japanese, but the Aichi target, which is targeted this year in 2020, is to cherish the biodiversity, or we should be more aware of the biodiversity. But for that, 10 years ago, this project started to register all the activities or the good stories and all this to the website, and we can give ideas and then share information with those activists. That's the Nijuma project. One of my activities also registered. That's Nijuma project. And one thing is by the government. Government is also doing something about it. We have maybe other countries too, but we have Japan Committee for UNDB, United Nations Decade of Biodiversity, from 2011 to 2020 is the UN Decade of Biodiversity. So the Japan government formed a Japanese committee with the academias and NGOs and business people, all these major people, to form a committee to protect the biodiversity. And the Ministry of Environment is trying to disseminate a lot of information about how to protect the environment, or showing a lot of sites and nature sites on the website, and helping assisting some NGOs to do the preservation conservation activities. Yeah, things like that. That will be after this.
Great. Yeah. No, that's all good to know. That's all kind of some of the interesting topics that you sent over and that we had kind of discussed a little bit. And then one other one that you mentioned, and I don't know if you have any material to speak on it or not, but also the family farming platform,
yes,
as that
yes,
kind of relates back directly to kind of some of the 5 actions and kind of the overall story of individuals and communities getting more in touch with where their food is coming from, and actually having a direct impact on biodiversity. Yeah. So if you're able to speak to that a little bit, maybe also.
The food eating thing or food is very easy to, simple way to imagine or think about the biodiversity, because food is made out of nature, right? And nature, without nature, agriculture cannot be, sustained. So the so that's why I'm very much interested also in farming. And then from since last year, there's another decade, UN decade, is called family farming, decade of family farming, because family farming is a very important practice. Most of the agricultural activities are done by or managed by the family, small families. So the family farm, and also those environmentally friendly ways of agriculture are very much depending on or implemented by small families. So the family farming, I think, is one of the key issues to connect with the biodiversity protection. So I will really support family farming decade campaign. There is another now the Japanese network for supporting this family farming. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then you mentioned also in terms of kind of family farming and getting people and communities kind of connected to back to the land, some of the work that you're doing in Chiba, some of like the volunteer work um, and also kind of working in some of the rice paddies and building networks of organic farmers and importantly organic consumers in Chiba as well. So yeah, we've got a few. Future Food has a few friends out in Chiba as well, like Brownsfield, and we did an event with Kai Sawyer as well. And it seems like this area in Chiba actually has quite a thriving community of really cool organic farm projects or natural farming projects happening. Yeah, and if you could, if you have anything to kind of share or speak to some of the work you've done in Chiba as well, that could be great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I can show you some photos, not just my face. Maybe photos will be more enjoyable. So could you bring up some photos that I prepared?
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, I can do it. Should I?
Yeah, if you're able to. Sorry. Is that okay?
Can you see?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yes.
Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the full screen? No.
Not yet full screen, so maybe just go into the presentation mode. I think it's up at the very top. Yeah, there to the right. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the site, my favorite spot in Japan, or this is in Chiba. It's called, the program is called Tsuchinoko, literally School of the Soil or School of the Earth. Started about 20 years ago, volunteer group. And here we ask organic farmers to provide the piece of land, the rice paddy land, and then I collect consumers or the people, residents in mostly Tokyo. It's about 1 hour away from Tokyo, but there are many, about 20, 25 families come every month to do these activities. This is the seedling time in May. Unfortunately, this year, we couldn't do it because of the COVID-19. So, but the farmers did the planting, so we can expect the harvesting like this with the kids, and the farmer will teach how to do it. And this is the same site, but in June, we have the insect investigation day time with the instructor. She tells us about all these flowers and plants and insects, and the kids are so much into it and collecting and watching all these insects and plants to enjoy and discover what it is. Now this is terrific. And then in October, in September, in autumn, we do the harvesting. Have you done this before? In Kamoga, you can experience this one too, right? But it's all automatically done. But we have traditional way of doing it. Even a little kid can try to cut it. This is the
Yeah.
rice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done it in Fukushima once, and it's
Yeah.
quite hard work, but
Mm-hmm.
it's rewarding, and it's good to know where the rice comes from, that we eat every day.
Yeah,
So
it's so amazing, isn't it? Okay.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And this is in July. July, yes. And after the work, agricultural work, this is a Japanese noodle trying to pick up, but this is with the bamboo tray. This is a real bamboo cut into half, and then we put the water and soba, and then make it stream, and then the kids pick up the noodle from the running tray. This
Like
is
the
fun
soba
thing.
slide.
Yeah, soba slide.
Yeah.
That's a good word for it. Yeah.
Very cool.
So kids can learn by playing around and chatting and laughing, but still at the same time they learn about the beauty of the biodiversity. Like this one, this watermelon, big watermelon. But this guy is a chef, and he tries to show what they can do with this big watermelon. Usually, you just cut it into pieces, triangle pieces. But he tries to do this small, beautiful cutting, showing, eating. This is also
Cool. Yeah.
and what about this one? Do you know this, Chris? Rice cake?
Is it mochi or?
Yeah, mochi.
Yeah.
It's rice cake out of
Cool.
rice. You just make keep smashing it and then make it into like a sticky rice
Yeah.
out of rice sticky cake out of rice. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's very traditional, and not many areas can do it now. This is very old style thing. And this is of the Tsuchinoko side, but I just wanted to show you this photo. This is a bamboo shoot harvesting. Small. Can you see this? The guy is trying to dig out the small bamboo, and this is eatable. We eat in April. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool thing. Takenoko, bamboo shoot.
Yeah, I bought some just the other day and cooked them. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're very. It was kind of fun to peel open and learn how to cook. Yeah. Cool.
And this is another fun part of the Tsuchinoko activity, chatting and interaction with the farmers. And we sometimes have some guests from overseas. This guy is from Burkina Faso, who was was studying agriculture, and the other lady is from England, just a friend's friend, and trying to mingle and try to cherish this gift of the nature. Like this, we have so many good food here, and drinks, of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's about it. Yeah, this is the end of the slides. In September we do this harvesting. Like we hang the rice on the back, and then after 1 month drying, in October we go there again and we get the rice and do another eating party, and then bring up our rice. Yeah, that's about it. That's about the Tsuchinoko activity. Thank you.
Very cool. Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Thank
And
you.
then so this is about the Tsuchinoko, my very own personal activity. But as you mentioned, in Chiba, there are many activities and movements going on about this dissemination of the idea of organic farming or organic food distribution. And one movement is to try to form a network of not only farmers, but also distributors and of course consumers and wholesalers and small shops and restaurants. We try to connect all these people or the organizations to have kind of network to share ideas and try to promote more and more organic products, not only vegetable but also all the organic stuff throughout Chiba. So I hope that will. We're trying to. Yeah, it's getting better and better. We get some subsidies from the government, and we get membership from who are people who are into it. And yeah, we're trying to shape up probably within this year. Yeah.
Yeah. And do in your experience, do a lot of the farmers and the organic producers that you're working with and talking to in Chiba, how much are they relying on, or I guess like, are most of the sales or a lot of the sales coming from the Tokyo area, like selling it in Tokyo and in Chiba City as well? Or is it also, kind of a matter of building like local consumer base as well for the goods? Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to, consume or to distribute to the local areas as local as possible. But yeah, Tokyo is a big market first, and so some farmers sells a lot of products to in Tokyo market, but still we now have a lot of weekend markets in open air market every weekend everywhere in Chiba area. So I hope that will be more bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Excellent. Cool. Do you, in your experience from what you've seen over the past, I don't know, 5 or 10 years, do you see more organic food being in the market? Maybe let's say both in Tokyo and outside of Tokyo. Do you see growth in the demand for organic food and organic goods, or?
Yes and no. If you go to specific, shops, of course you can get all the organic products, but still it's a very small portion of small percentage of the whole products. But what I can say is that now these days is that I think because of the SDGs, I think Sustainable Development Goals movement, there are some consumers movement trying to buy better things, not only organic but better like ethnic, ethical products or eco-friendly products, which is gentle to the nature or gentle to the human rights. And then organic food is one of the major things among them. So I can say even magazines or web magazines or some women's magazines or all these very ordinary materials or media are picking up some organic or natural eco-conscious stuff. That's a good tendency, I think.
Yeah, you do tend to see at least in most neighborhoods in Tokyo, at least like quite a bit of SDG or organic, at least kind of some of the aisles of the store. More stores seem to be kind of popping up. So, and I think part of the reason why we're talking about and mentioning organic is because that it's kind of a complex topic even within the organic food world, I know, but also in the hopes that supporting and promoting organic produce can lead towards increased biodiversity, to bring it back to kind of what we're talking about today. And and some of that conversation involves maybe the overuse of pesticides or growing only one certain crop in an area. And I don't know, it's okay if the answer is no. I don't know if you have any experience kind of working with or talking to or learning about the use of pesticides in Japan, but are you able to speak on that
Mm,
topic at all? Because I know
mm,
that's quite complex also. So
mm.
so
Yeah,
do you have any
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of further information on that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not quite scientific, but
Hmm.
I hear that Japan is a big user of pesticides and all the chemicals for the agriculture.
Hmm.
Japan use lots of pesticides,
Hmm.
yeah, bug killers, which is
Hmm.
very much, I concern a lot. So
Yeah.
and like the bee issue,
Hmm.
the bees.
Yeah.
I heard that there are the number of Japanese bees, original bees, is in decreasing because of the
Hmm.
pesticides. But bees are very important to carry the pollens and to make the fruits of plants and vegetables, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
Absolutely.
concerned about the bees and the pesticides, the relationship with the pesticides and the bees. I'm
Yeah.
very much concerned. Mm.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a good time you brought that up because this past Wednesday was let's see, the UN International Day of the Bee, I believe it
Bees,
was
yeah.
this past Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Mm.
highlighting bees and the other important pollinators,
Mm.
which ultimately are what
Mm.
are, keeping our crops growing and ultimately keeping us alive and leading to more
Yeah.
and more biodiversity.
Mm.
So yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Um, so I don't know if there was anything else that you maybe had in mind to present or talk through if you wanted to talk through the deck
Yes.
or
Yes,
yeah,
I wanted to touch upon the SDG thing
yeah,
because I
definitely.
also promote SDG with the network.
Great.
And
Okay,
can I show you another slide now?
definitely. Yes. Yeah.
Um, and I forgot to introduce myself. I mean, my workplace is called the GEOC, Global
Mm.
Environment Outreach Center, which is promoting biodiversity thing. Like today, it's a day of biodiversity, so we have a special website. GEOC is a joint initiative of the United Nations University and Ministry of Environment, and try and work with the people like me and with NGOs. And GEOC is trying to promote partnership among people and also disseminate all the information on the environment. So, and biodiversity is one of it. So I just wanted to show it. Oh, it's not the full screen, is it? Anyway, sorry.
Not yet full screen, but
Can you,
it's nearly there.
okay, can you,
Yeah. Um,
I don't know how,
yeah, and
can I
that
just
it
continue?
should.
I'll be very quick because the
Oh,
time
it's
is
okay. It's okay. Yeah, I think it's actually big enough, the
running.
screen, if that's all right with
Okay,
you.
all right.
Yeah.
So, and the GEOC is located in the first floor of the United Nations University in Omotesando, Shibuya, Tokyo. So if you're close to it, you're always welcome to pop in. But until the end of June, it's closed because of COVID-19. Sorry about
Okay.
that. But
But
anyway,
normally this is a place where people can pop in and
yeah,
just okay.
yeah, like yeah, we have open spaces for seminars, workshops, and people just come and study, read books, and we like a library, so you're always welcome. And
Okay.
other thing is about SDGs. I would like to talk because it's related to biodiversity too. Uh, SDGs is 17 goals, and every single goal is important. And but the other most important thing I should I think people should know is that the SDGs are mutually linked, and without a healthy environment, both society and economy cannot be sustained. The balance of the economy and the society and environment. And I really want to focus on that. For instance, if we do very bad economical activities, we will lose a lot of biodiversity. And there's some statistics say that the economic impact of loss of diversity will range from US 2 to 4.5 trillion annually. This is a big number, so I think we should be careful about how to do the economic activities. We should be more careful about the biodiversity conservation. And yeah, like this. Even one cup of coffee is very much related to the forest or the climate change or the people's work, employment, or the health, because the pesticides or chemicals will damage your health. So even to produce one cup of coffee, there are a lot of SDG goals related. So in order to deal with it, we should take actions with various stakeholders and make partnership. And this is the slide that I wanted to show you, to share. SDG goal, 17 goals, but as I said, environment or biodiversity or the climate change, those environmental natural resources are very much of the base of the other goals. Without this environment or the economic or social activities cannot be implemented. So this is called the SDG wedding cake model, created by some research center. But always it's on the biodiversity or the climate is the bottom, is the very base of our living. So I wanted to show you this. And then lastly, this is the last message. The theme of this year's International Day for Biological Diversity is our solutions are in nature. I think this is a good keyword for it. We so much, we have all the gifts from the nature. So even the solutions are in nature. So, let's cherish the nature. That's my last message. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Okay, great. So yeah, I think from the Japan side for this event, I believe that's all we have at the moment. But thank you again very much, Tomoko, for joining us and for sharing a little bit of what you're working on. And we're hoping that further on this year we'll be able to work together on a few events once we're able to meet up in person. And visit you in Omotesando and kind of invite you over to some of what we're working on in the Kyobashi area as well.
All right.
With future food. So that would be great. So thanks again for participating. Yeah, thank you. And later on, actually, we have a pretty exciting presentation and discussion hosted by our own Francesco Dell'Once in Italy, and he'll be speaking with 4 Italian experts all about biodiversity, which will be happening, I believe, at 6 p.m. Italy time. But more information is available on the Future Food Institute and the Future Food Italia page. So that'll be a little bit late for us, but for anyone who's tuning in now from Europe or from the US will be able to catch that one. And all of these will be recorded as well and shown, I believe, on YouTube and our Facebook channels. So okay. So thank you again very much.
Thank you too, Chris. Nice talking to you.
And have a great weekend.
All right.
Okay.
Happy International Day of Biodiversity. Let's
yes,
celebrate.
Same to you. Same to you. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Thanks. Have a good night. Okay.
Bye-bye.
See you.